that gorgeous?
Isn't it?
Wow, 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 wow. There's no critter poo. There's no more holes in the floor.
Man, it's just a cool car. Wait till you see what I'm gonna do to it. It ain't even fast yet, baby. We're gonna talk about the week from hell at the Hot Rod Shop. It's been a heck of a ride this week. We got the results of Barrett-Jackson, and we didn't get the money out of the cars that we sold at Barrett-Jackson, but we did learn a lot about what's going on. It asked me, why am I walking backwards? Because this is, ooh, watch out for that. This is what I had to do with my Chevelle this week to boot. I bought the kit, I bought the equipment, put it all together, bolted it up, and that didn't work out so well. So there's two things go back. Oh, Robin comes in this week, and we had so much fun. She's a great person. Every suggestion I made interior-wise, she changed it. Huh, who'd have thought? It's the freedom a woman has to choose, and she's got some great ideas, and it really, really went well. So there are a lot of good stuff, but we learned a lot of things. Kind of went backwards a little bit this week, but come with me on the ride, man. This is gonna be a fun week for you guys to learn what not to do at a hot rod shop. Oh yeah, come on, let's go. See, actually what we're doing right now is reinforcing the chassis. So we obviously pulled the whole car apart, the body off the chassis, and now we've got the chassis that's been media blasted into the paint booth, and the slowest guy moving the tank ever. Paid by the hour. Strong like a bull.
After that, I gotta drop the other one off the peak. I'm gonna be busy boy the rest of the day.
All right, back to work. Ready? So what we have here is that's a speed tech component, very commonly used in people with A-bodies reinforcing the chassis. The whole idea is to box it. Rather than you could buy a Roshi top chassis, or you could buy, you know, a Morrison chassis, you could buy a TCI chassis. There's tons of guys, Batman, tons of people make a whole complete chassis that you can put on there. But actually reinforcing the chassis and using the OEM one can be just as good, but you got to be real careful about how you approach it. So there's a couple things that we've done so far that the aftermarket kits don't really have available to do at the level that I want to do it at. So reinforcing it, we can flip over to the hot rod shop where we got the one on the floor. I can show you, I can walk you through what's done there and actually what we're going to do different on this one. We're actually going to make the cross member mount independent of what they actually ship in the kit. So will I buy these kits anymore? I don't know. It's got my brain on it. I got to make sure it's got my thumbprint on it. And that is going to happen when we actually make the new cross member. This one, not that it's terrible, it's just not great. I'll show you over on the other one. It doesn't have a lot of landing material on where it hits. So this piece mounts and it barely goes like that. So it doesn't have a lot of structural integrity to it. So we're gonna make a little bit different transmount. I love the bars that they use. I love the boxing of the chassis. Let me show you what boxing the chassis actually needs. See this big long break in there? This component goes right about here. We got that mounted up on the other side. So the first thing we had to do is lots of times the chassis have been through the mill, right? They've been around the planet for a long time. We actually made a tool here called a duck bill. Basically, you put this on the bottom of the chassis, you can just kind of straighten it all out and flatten it back out before we start stitching it together when we box it. So as a recap, media blasted this thing after we blew it all apart. It actually got shot in epoxy, so you can't rust or anything else. We'll do our welding, our finish bit. We'll lay a new epoxy layer over everything that's been welded and done, and then it gets painted with our hot rod black. And then it can go to assembly. In assembly, we'll be putting all the underpinnings, meaning upper lower control arms, tires, the brakes, sway bars, all that kind of stuff. That'll be next. So that's always the fun part. It actually feels like something. When that's done, it'll go over to the other shop, and we'll go ahead and start mounting that thing back together. I'm gonna make a couple modifications on the cross member. Not exactly excited about the way number one came out. I'm actually modifying that one too. Who'd have thunk? That's why it goes a little bit slower when you're in the prototype stage. Once I get it licked, we'll get it. So one of my guys asked me Why do you put an epoxy primer, do all the welding and do more epoxy primer, right? Well, the reason it is you can get inside all the rails and everything else, and there's a time spot that you don't want to leave raw steel open to moisture, depending on the time of year, that kind of stuff. I don't want any rust to start in that thing. So once we've made it bare and clean, we want to keep it that way. That's why we'll put it in the epoxy right away. And that C-channel can actually get blasted completely in there, and then we weld up over the front of it, and then the outside gets covered too. So it's inside and outside. Hope that makes sense. But yes, we do it twice. And that we will probably continue to do.
I'm eating again. More than a month.
These still need to come off. Why? Why'd you weld them in? Why you so fast? What are you doing?
The underneath is fully welded too.
What a guy. Come on. Really?
That's nuts.
I think that I think the stupid support might want to tie it to the rail.
Yeah, I like that idea too.
Do you?
Making the attachment onto the tube itself.
Yeah.
Maybe the tube and this.
Maybe the tube and this. Yeah.
I would think that's
Yeah. This is the Speed Tech kit I was telling you about. This is a version 2.0. Right? Good things and bad things.
Yep.
The best thing is, we ain't done yet. I'm digging the idea of pulling this back.
Yeah.
But I want the structure, you know, this is freaking 425 or something from here to here.
I was thinking just having the same thing, the welded nuts on the back side of the plate, and you just come through.
And let the whole thing just drop straight down.
Yeah.
Murph, let me show you something. So this, basically, is our cross member support. Remember we were talking about beefing it up? This is the basic design. We're just working on actually fitting it and attaching it to the chassis. And the important part about this is if you got to pull out your transmission or you got to do service work, there's many ways you can attach it. That's not the problem. The problem is you got to make sure you think about how do you service it and make it serviceable. So there's the original part. That was in the middle. And that's how it was mounted up. Where this plate is going to interface right back to there. Much, much stronger, much more rigid. A or B? What do you see? I see quality. So I'm excited to get over to the other shop. Robin's coming in today to see her grandma's car. She hasn't seen it in paint. I can't wait to see the look on her face and probably some tears in her eyes. And she's gonna be picking out interior stuff today. It's gonna be fun. Can't wait to see her. Did it look that good when it was your grandma's?
No. No, I never saw it running. Well, I mean, I was a baby when it was running.
Right.
I could play the radio. I could pretend to drive. I could do all this other stuff.
Right. On block.
On block. That's gorgeous.
Isn't it?
That is gorgeous.
Great color you picked.
Wow. There's no more holes in the floor.
There could be.
There's no critter poop. There's no
Nothing.
nothing.
Let's go.
How you doing?
Not bad. How about yourself?
Good. This is Robin. Hi.
Hey, nice to meet you.
I call him Johnny Bravo. How do you doing?
These are kind of the closest based on what you picked originally.
Yeah.
But I just got a bigger sample of it.
So, this is actually the design
Okay.
that I want with the little
Red piping.
the piping.
Okay, yeah.
So that embossed there at this
Okay.
piping design.
Yeah.
I think a pattern in this embossing would be great.
I'm good. I got it.
Yep.
Because you're gonna be.
I like
You
that.
gotta come up with material numbers for me.
Okay.
So what do we put on this? That one of these fabrics?
Yeah.
Dan. Yeah.
I think simpler is better here. I would probably just go with the. You want a red stitch in it?
Yes.
I knew it.
Because I'm looking at this,
Yeah.
and I'm like, this has got to have red stitch.
On the white fabric. What about a white stitch in red on the bottom?
On the bottom, we could definitely do that.
Welcome to Chevelle World. There's a lot of Chevelles coming through here. Smells like a Chevelle.
Woohoo! Woohoo! This is going to be good.
Rockin Robbins.
Rockin Robbin's hot rod.
My toolbox from when I was a kid. I was listening to the radio, The Loop. Now I built them a rock and ride. And you're going to see the 1969 Hunter Orange Chevelle that we're building for them. We built for them. Flashback. The Chevelle, yeah, I can't do it in blue. Nope, it's not gonna happen. I want you thinking Hugger Orange. Hugger Orange. Hugger Orange. This is my old stomping grounds. So right here used to be a place where I would remanufacture the laser printer cartridges, and now, as you can see, it is stuffed, filled with cars. My cars. Cars that I bought, cars that I've sold, cars that I want to build, cars that I stopped building. Cars. So we do appraisals for people, and we actually do restorations for people, and we actually sell some cars and buy some cars. And I learned a lot at going to Barrett-Jackson this week with taking two of my prized possessions. 61 Lincoln Continental convertible. This thing literally is a nut and bolt restoration. I made sure everything worked. It was pretty as could be. It's straight as a rail. The paint is gorgeous. It's shit with PPG paint. It's got 6 coats of clear on it. It was stunning, gorgeous. Then I brought my 46 Cadillac, which is a convertible as well, and it was gorgeous. I bought it actually done. I didn't do that car, but I actually brought those to Barrett-Jackson because I was so excited to get out to Barrett-Jackson, because when you hear a name like Barrett-Jackson, your cars are going to sell at Barrett-Jackson. I got enamored with the whole thing, and the truth is, it's not quite what it seems to be. So let me tell you a little bit, guys, about my experience out at Barrett-Jackson. So I'm going to walk you through the do's and the don'ts of what to do at Barrett-Jackson and what not to do at Barrett-Jackson, and it goes like this. We contacted them months ahead of time because we were excited to go to Scottsdale, because Scottsdale has such a great reputation for selling great cars. And where else would you sell a 1961 beautiful mint condition Continental like ours? It means stunning car, right? So in the description communicating with says, take all pictures of details and good things and bad things and all the details that we could actually get of the car. So, you know, that's my reputation. When I sell cars, there's lots of cars I won't even take in to want to sell because I know it's not a really good car. And why would I want to put my reputation on a car that's not really, really solid? So I'm super sensitive to actually describing the details of the descriptions of the cars that we get in. So when we get in a car, we're going to sell it. We go through that thing and I try to identify everything that's wrong. And then I just tell the seller and the buyer exactly what we found. And lots of times the buyer will be like, hey, how much to fix that? Or what about this? Or what about that? But who wants to get caught up in the mix where people are trying to cover up things or trying to get them, like, make them look a lot better than they are? That's not cool, because cars are supposed to be fun. And believe me, there's a lot of crusty cars out there. So I gave the descriptions about our cars to Barrett-Jackson, about what the flaws were, what the issues were. Heck, I didn't even like the transmission that was in it. I even replaced the transmission with an overdrive transmission before it went out there, because that's what we do. We actually build and sell really good quality cars. But when I was there at Barrett-Jackson, I was guessing prices and playing games and looking at it as an appraiser, what are cars selling for? And man, did I find out a lot of interesting information. Let me go to a video of a car that I inspected when we were right there in the staging lanes before my car went. Lots of times I talk about doing a quality job on a car, and the other way I talk about cars, sometimes I say it's a mop and glow. This 70 Charger was an absolute mop and glow. You can't tell from my camera going over the car, but you're sure gonna know it when you get it home. So when we're at the auction, I'm kind of like learning a lot about cars that are made for the auction, or they're actually made for us to drive. This presents really cool, but man, this thing is such a mop and glow. I don't want to say it too loud outside. You never know what you're gonna get when you take a look at that Charger. As we did the videotape, notice how quiet I was at Barrett-Jackson, because I saw what was going through the auction. I didn't want to embarrass or say anything bad, or the owner of the car could be there. But it's really all about buyer beware. You guys get to the auction, inspect the cars, don't guess. You work hard for your money, don't throw it out the window. Actually, a car right after that at the auction was George Barris' car that I showed you in the last episode. Went for the same money. You got the crafted creator, George Barris, with one of his cool original cars at the same price as that thing? Are you kidding me? So anyways, what I'm doing to tie it up is buyer beware. And as we build our Chevelles, I'm gonna walk you through that whole process, piece by piece by piece. Not to brag, but to show you how a good quality car would really be built. And quality goes in before the brand goes on. One thing I learned is you can never inspect quality into a car, you can only build it in. Yeah, next week we are moving forward. I'm gonna get that cross member fixed. We're gonna get some stuff going on. Maybe we'll build a couple cars specifically for the auction, who knows? It's gonna be a good week next week, but thanks for tuning in, subscribe, like, do the YouTube thing. Peace out. We are going forwards. Studio Hotrods.